So let's get started with today's topic, that is PESA Act, that is Panchayat's extension to the Scheduled Areas Act of 1996. So the question is, in the areas covered under Panchayat's extension to the Scheduled Areas Act of 1996, what is the role or power of Grama Sabha? The first statement, Grama Sabha has the power to prevent alienation of land in scheduled areas. Second statement, Grama Sabha has the ownership of minor forest produce. And the third statement, recommendation of Gram Sabha is required for granting prospecting license or mining lease for any mineral in the scheduled areas. So these are the three statements. Now we'll have a quick revision about what exactly PESA Act is. So understand that PESA Act in fact is actually an act which has ensured that the Panchayati Raj institutions has been in fact, that is the network of Panchayati Raj institutions has been expanded and has been applied to these scheduled areas. And it has been merged in such a manner that the Panchayati Raj institutions has been merged with the customary practices, the customary laws, the socio-religious practices of scheduled tribes that is living in the scheduled areas, as well as that of the traditional management practices of community resources. So all these together have been merged so as to provide the Grama Sabha, that is the Grama Sabha here, will be a bit more powerful when you compare with that of the normal Grama Sabhas which we all are having. So this Grama Sabha's power in fact is very important as far as the prelims is concerned, and you have this question also which has asked about it. So we'll have a revision about it. So here the Grama Sabha has to be consulted, that is the Grama Sabha are having certain specific powers with respect to development projects, development programs, development plans, etc., the socio-economic development plans, etc. In such a case, the Grama Sabha needs to be consulted, and Grama Sabha's approval is mandatory before they are taken up for implementation at the village panchayat level. Also, the Grama Sabha will be responsible for identifying the beneficiaries for poverty alleviation programs as well as that of other programs also. So, other development projects also. So, the identification of beneficiaries as well as the approval of these plans, projects, etc. has to be given by the Grama Sabha. Next important part as far as development projects is concerned, the approval of Grama Sabha is mandatory or is required before the land is acquired for such development projects, and also before rehabilitation or resettlement of such persons who have been resettled or who have been displaced in fact as a result of this particular development projects. And they have to be consulted, it is mandatory also. Apart from this, as far as mining is concerned, the recommendation of the Grama Sabha at appropriate level or panchayats at the appropriate level shall be mandatory for granting of prospecting license for mining, etc., and also for providing concessions also for these licenses, etc., for minor producers or in fact minor minerals in fact in scheduled areas. So all these are with respect to the scheduled areas, and Grama Sabha is having the power to give its approval, has to be consulted in fact before these approvals or before these are taken into consideration or are actually implemented at the grassroots level. Now apart from this, the Grama Sabha, the state legislature as well as Grama Sabha the state legislature in fact has to ensure that Grama Sabha in fact will be endowed with specific program or specific powers in fact with respect to power to enforce the prohibition, regulation as well as restricting the sale as well as consumption of any intoxicant in these scheduled areas, as well as the ownership of minor forest produce, as well as the power to prevent the alienation of land of scheduled tribe in fact, alienation of land in scheduled areas, and also it will be, the Grama Sabha will also be having the power to take steps in order to restore any unlawfully alienated land to the scheduled tribes. So this power is also given to the Grama Sabha. In fact, the state legislature has to ensure that this power has been given to Grama Sabha specifically, and also it will be Grama Sabha will be having the power to manage village markets, and also exercising control over the money lending to the scheduled tribes in fact, that is who are residing in this particular scheduled areas, and also Grama Sabha will be having the power to exercise control over the institutions as well as functionaries in all social sectors within this area, and also will be having the power to approve, that is the power to control the local plans as well as approve the resources in fact to implement these particular local plans in fact, including the tribal subplan. So all these plans or all these powers are have been specifically given to Grama Sabha. Now we'll move back to the question. In the areas covered under Panchayat extension to the Scheduled Areas Act of 1996, what is the role or power of Grama Sabha? Now first and foremost, Grama Sabha, first option or the first statement in fact, Grama Sabha has the power to prevent alienation of land in scheduled areas. Yes, that is correct. We have looked into it. That is, it also has the power to ensure that unlawfully alienated land of scheduled tribe, in fact, is actually restored back, and it has the power to take appropriate steps also regarding it. So the first statement is correct. So which means that the answer we can eliminate option C. Second statement, Gram Sabha has the ownership of minor forest produce. Yes, that is also correct, that we have looked at in the previous slide. That is, Gram Sabha has the ownership of minor forest produce. Now, recommendation, third statement, recommendation of Gram Sabha is required for granting prospecting license or mining lease of any minerals in the scheduled area. This is a tricky question, in fact. Why? Because recommendation of Gram Sabha is required for granting prospecting license of mining lease, in fact. Yes, that is correct. But it is not for any mineral. In fact, it is specifically for minor minerals. So which means that the third statement is wrong. So that is actually a trick here. It is not any mineral, it is actually a minor mineral. So which means that the third statement is wrong, which makes the answer should be B, Bombay. So here the answer is Bombay. That's it. Thank you.